As Indiana celebrates its 200th birthday, we proudly look back on our history and the many stories of Hoosiers who have bravely made a home out of frontier country and shaped communities across the state. We can remember those who have used their talents to make the world a better place. We look to our schools as they shape the students and visionaries of the future, to the diverse landscapes across our state, and seek ways to use our resources while preserving them for future generations. The future of Indiana likely includes exciting things we cannot yet envision. What do you hope for the future of our state? What does the next Indiana look like for you? And most importantly, how will you help us get there?
We lived off 96th Street and I-69 in a village area, which was nice, but it very, very crowded. And we weren't even allowed to, they had the zero property line. We're not even allowed to go on one side of the house. And I wasn't happy in that atmosphere. So we moved out North Anderson, out in the country, where we just live literally in the middle of a square mile of cornfield. And we love it out there. We got fresh air, we got room to move, and I can actually go on the right side of my house without worrying about getting in trouble with the neighbor. I think what's being neglected mostly is the rivers and streams. I think we should do a better job of monitoring the rivers and streams, finding out what's in them, and if there's something that shouldn't be there, find out where it's coming from, and stop the process of that getting into our rivers and streams.
I like to think of the state as a community. It's so funny just watching my children, who are now, in their 30s and 40s, go through high school, because my experience was a totally African-American experience as it related to school. I was one of the colored kids going to the colored schools with the colored teachers. Until I went to Indiana University, I'd never gone to school with white children or white people. And then to see my kids, on the other hand, who always had integrated experiences, to be able now to see so many people of color, it's such an evolving place. And this is how I see Indiana now. I see it as a big, evolving community. And I'm really excited about the future.
I love Indiana's parks. It's fun to camp and hike, and I love playing in the water. I would protect Indiana's land from picking up trash and from not throwing trash in the water. It's important to not pollute because we want to keep our parks clean for everybody.
Hispanic Hoosiers are making up the largest growth rate in the state. And it's wonderful to be part of it, both from a economic standpoint. There are thousands of Hispanic-owned businesses. I sit on the Hispanic Business Council of the Chamber, and we see that growing every day. And they're involved with so many more things. Typically you think of an Hispanic business owner as being a restaurant owner, but they own insurance companies, printers, they're attorneys. And we're making a mark, and it's amazing to see how integrated they are. Let's take, for example, there's a Peruvian restaurant here in Indianapolis, so my kids can actually go as we can go as a family and order ceviche, which is my son's favorite dish. I couldn't do that 30 years ago. But it's wonderful how welcoming this state has been. It hasn't had the prejudices, the typical negative reactions. And that's part of how, the whole Hoosier hospitality thing. They're very welcoming, and I see that every day, that the state has always welcomed us into the community with open arms and celebrate the flavors that we have to offer.
As a high school student in Indiana at a public school, I have been able to confront lots of sort of opportunities in all my different classes and with all my teachers, and I think that's kind of always been the case. I personally am very interested in the field of English and have been able to pursue that interest. I'm planning on going to a liberal arts college, and I'm able to take many liberal arts courses. They're all available. But I've also taken, for example, AP statistics. Like, there are all kinds of math courses and technological courses and science courses that I can take beyond the bare minimum. And students who want those extra opportunities are always able to find them. And for me, I've been able to just ask anybody. You ask a teacher and they give you a myriad of opportunities, and you just have to find one, and it kind of just extends out into more and more.
When I grow up, I want to be a cowboy. And a motorcycle driver. Because motorcycles are fast, and one time I counted 101 in one day. And also, I like playing the motorcycle game on my dad's phone.
Given where we've come in the last 100 years, it's almost unimaginable to think where we're going to be in 100 years. But I think understanding how far technology has advanced just in recent decades, that we already have self-driving cars and we already have fully electric vehicles and bike share. So multimodality, I think, will be realized in a way we have previously been unable to comprehend it. I think the movement of people will be less impactful on the environment. I think much of the technology advancement that is occurring today, which is unaffordable, will be manufactured at an affordable rate. I think we will see vehicles driving themselves. I think we will see a return of mass transit to our state. I think shifts of people to major cities and population growth will dictate that folks walk more, ride more bikes, and that when vehicles move, we do it with less of an impact on the environment.
So as I think about Indiana and where we've come over the last 200 years, I've watched over decades as the city has grown. And so I think about all the talent that's come to play with urban development and businesses, and how all of those different talents and skills have worked together to build this world-class city. Everyone from politicians to architects to small businesses like coffee houses have helped just make this a beautiful place to be, and it's growing and becoming more popular with each passing year. And I can only hope that as we go into the future that we continue to build on that.
Don't break it, love was made for me and you.